Hey, what's up? It's Matt in Japan. Welcome back to my channel. And today from Transformers 1, we're taking a look at Studio Series Megatron. So there he is in the packaging. Takara Tomy, Generations logo, Transformers down the right side. There you see a shot of Megatron. Looking very cool, straight out of the movie there. There you see Megatron packaged in the box there. And he is number 114, Studio Series Megatron. Of course, he's a Decepticon. He is a deluxe class figure. See an up-close shot of his noggin there. On the top, you just see Transformers 1. On the bottom, you have product info. On the side, you have another shot with the Authentics logo there. A more full shot of Megatron. You got the inlay Autobot symbol there. And on the back is where we see our product images. Big screen inspired, scale, detail, backdrop. Megatron, Metropolis of Iacom. He converts in 24 steps to his very cool looking tank mode. And there again, you see the backdrop included. And the little blurb says, Megatron aims to become the leader of Cybertron, and no one will stand in his way to get there. That is exactly right. This guy is very, very cool looking. So yeah, can't wait to get him out of the box and onto the review. So without further ado, let's do just that. Okay, here we have Studio Series Megatron from Transformers 1 out of the box and onto the backdrop. But before we look at his details, let's take a quick look at the accessories he comes with. The first one being his backpack here. So at the beginning of the movie, he did have a little sort of jetpack. And this is done in a very nice, almost metallic sort of gunmetal gray. It's got some nice molded details there. It has ports on either side for some other weapons. And to get a little bit of molded detail. It does have a peg right there to plug in on his back. I'll show you that in a sec. So very, very cool. So I'll just put that down for a second. And the two sort of guns, I guess, or weapons that plug in on either side are these guys right here. Done in a similar type, sort of not quite black, but a sort of gunmetal gray there. I don't really remember these from the movie. They can be used as handheld weapons, but the instructions do say to basically plug them in on either side here. So you're going to plug this one in on this side and then plug this one in on this side. And I'll just show you real quick how this plugs in. So again, there's the peg right there. And then on the back of Megatron, there is a little port that you can, it's on a hinge, so you can put it up like that, put it out. And then that peg will slot into this port right here. And then there are two tabs here and here that are going to plug into little holes right there. So you get that nice and tight, and it's a very, very tight fit. And there you have Megatron with his backpack. So I'm not sure I quite like the look. I don't mind the backpack, but I'm not sure I like these two guns hanging down. They do get hidden a little bit from the front, but I'm not sure I really like that look. I think for posability purposes as well, it might be a little bit in the way. So anyways, there is his backpack there. The other accessory is his sort of little blaster, kind of arm blaster there. It's done in that sort of same gunmetal gray with a little bit darker gray for the barrel there. Not a whole lot of detail. It does have a little peg right here, which fits on his forearm. Now be careful, there's a slot right here, but this isn't the slot it pegs into. That's too small, so you want to turn his arm around and find the port there, and then it will peg in right on the front of his arm like so. So he can sort of use that as another sort of smaller kind of arm cannon, I guess. And then speaking of arm cannons is his iconic arm cannon here. So very, very cool. Done in that same sort of gray plastic. It's got some nice detail there. So yeah, I mean, it's kind of small. I kind of wish it was a little bit bigger, but again, that just plugs in on the side there. So you get his arm cannon right there. The iconic look of all Megatrons here. So that is about it for the accessories. Let's take a quick pause and look at Megatron's details. Okay, taking a look at Legatron, I mean Megatron. This guy, yeah, you know that ZZ Top song? He got legs. Well, Megs has legs. I mean, he's one leggy fellow here. So his legs take up, 3/4 of the figure here. Anyways, legs aside, leg jokes aside here, let's take a quick look at the head sculpt. The head sculpt is straight out of the movie. Very cool. It's got some nice silver for the face, red eyes, and that classic Megatron dome there. And that's just how it looks from the back. Just putting that down. The rest of the figure does have some nice red paint down here, and then it does have some nice black paint on the abs, again on the arms as well. Has some nice red and black paint. You can tell it's a lot shinier than the gray plastic. The gray plastic isn't bad. It's it's a very classic sort of Megatron gray plastic. It's got some detail on the arms there. Not a whole lot. It's got, it's got that classic sort of Megatron abs there, with a little bit of black paint there. I love the fact that the treads are just, the back of his hands are just the tank treads. I think that's pretty funny. You can sort of see a little bit of tank tread there on the arms as well. But yeah, legs all day long. I do like the shins. I do like this part here. It's very cool. I like how it's kind of contoured there. And there is a little bit of difference between this plastic and this plastic here. You can tell it's a little bit lighter gray there. And then you get a little bit of yellow for the feet there. And a little bit of molded detail, but that's how it looks. Some nice sculpting on the feet there. The only hollow bits you get are on the back here, and that's, part of it's for his backpack to plug in, and maybe like a flight stand or something to put in there. Overall, the plastic feels good. He feels really solid, and he feels super tight. All the joints are super tight. We'll get into articulation right about now. So that is about it for Megatron. Okay, articulation for Megatron is as follows. One thing I found out the hard way, I was trying to pose his head, and yeah, as I drop his head on the floor, where is it? Hold on. Okay, I finally found his head. Seriously, I was looking for like 3-4 minutes. I could not find it. It dropped on the floor and like went behind the desk or something. Anyways, what I was saying is just be careful. Yeah, that head's on a ball joint and it pops off super easily. So you do have limited motion. You go up and down, a little bit of side to side, and of course that can rotate there. I still just think it's funny his head popped off and I couldn't find it. So anyways, yeah, his head is very limited. Like I showed you, there are ball joints here on the shoulders, and that, I guess that gap there does allow for some vertical or horizontal movement rather. And then so the ball joint does allow the shoulder to go around like that. There is an upper bicep swivel there. There is a little more than 90 degrees at the elbow, and he does have wrist rotation. Part of that is for transformation as well. So he's got some nice articulated arms there. And like I said, everything is very, very tight. He does have a full waist rotation. Again, very, very tight. He can kick out all the way. This guy can do the full split, so that is actually pretty cool. Those legs just, they don't disappoint. He can kick back that far as well. Let's see, he can do pretty much a nice high kick there. He has a 90 degree at the knee. Now, the knees, I found out something interesting. The knees actually lock in place. And I thought I broke this figure when I first got him out of the box and was kind of fooling around with him. I'll show you what I mean. So the knees are locked in place. So right now, it doesn't really move. But if you it pains me to do that every time. But anyways, there is a little just lip right there that kind of locks in right there. So in order to free his knee, which does have about a little more than 90, you have to kind of unlock it. So it does kind of click back into place. I really don't like that feature. I wish they were just kind of free. I think this one's a lot, oh God, that scares me every time. I think this one's a lot tighter. And you can see how the knee kind of works there. But yeah, I really don't like that. I don't know why. If that's a transformation thing or what. But anyways, and he doesn't have a thigh swivel, but there is, you got ball jointed hips there. And then for the feet, there is a little bit of wiggle waggle there and a little bit of toe movement as well, again, for transformation. So he's pretty posable. The ankle rocker is not too bad. It does go both ways, and it's actually pretty, it feels pretty good. So you can definitely get him in some good poses. Not a big fan of those locking knees. So anyways, that is the articulation portion. Let's do some comparisons. Okay, here is a comparison between the Studio Series Megatron and the mainline deluxe figure Sentinel Prime. So you can see that Megatron is actually a pretty tall deluxe class figure. And here he is compared with the mainline deluxe class Bumblebee. And lastly, a comparison between Megatron and the deluxe class Optimus Prime. Unfortunately, I don't have the Studio Series Optimus Prime to do a comparison, but these do not scale very well. Okay, that's it for comparisons. Let's get down to transformation. Okay, with transformation complete, let's take a look at Studio Series Megatron's tank details here. I gotta say right off the bat, I'm not a huge fan. It definitely was a lot more dynamic, like the first time he transformed in the movie. I'm not getting that same sort of vibe. It's definitely a different looking tank than what we're used to. But anyways, let's get in close on the details. First thing you'll notice is just the very long turret here. Which I don't mind because, the front of the tank is actually very long. So it actually, having like a short turret might be a little bit underwhelming. But yeah, I don't mind that part of it at all. You kind of do see just, you saw the transformation. You kind of do see how these were his legs and things like that. But yeah, I mean, there's not a whole lot to talk about. I mean, there's some tank tread detail there, and kind of under here, there's some little bit of detail you didn't get to see before in the robot mode. This was kind of tucked away behind the legs, so there are some there are some details here. But yeah, overall it's kind of underwhelming if I have to give my honest opinion. So yeah, and then the fact that it doesn't have any wheels as well, sort of Legacy United Quake syndrome, I guess. How can you have a tank without any wheels? So yeah, you can't really roll around or anything, so there's no real playability as far as the tank mode. You do have this turret here that does go up and down. It can spin around as well. If you put that up like that, you do see Megatron's head hiding out under there. And also, as you just saw, this tends to come untabbed quite easily here. So that, just clips back on right there, but it tends to come undone. So once you put that up, just be careful. So yeah, you got a little bit of playability and movability with the turret there, but not a whole lot else. Yeah, the robot mode just is way, way better. So not too crazy about the tank mode. Anyways, let's pause and do some vehicle mode comparisons. Okay, first we have the mainline deluxe Optimus Prime, which is a little shrimp compared to this Megatron. Very, very small. Next we have the mainline deluxe Bumblebee, which scales a little bit better with Studio Series Megatron. And last but not least, we have the Behemoth Nemesis Bridge Megatron from the original Siege mold compared with the Studio Series Megatron. The Siege Megatron mold is just works way better as a tank. And I understand the Studio Series Megatron from Transformers 1 is a lot more stylized as the movie was as well. But yeah, as far as like a tank, like a beefy tank, the Siege Megatron mold just does it way better. And lastly, as far as weapon storage for tank mode, you have these two weapons left. All the other weapons have been used, the backpack and the turret combined into one. So you have these guys left over, and you can do one of two things. You can plug them in on the side of the backpack right there, or you can plug them in on the side here. So you have some options there. So I'll just plug them in right here on the side. So you get some extra sort of blasters on the side there. So you can have them there, or you can have them up there. But either way, it works. So you have weapon storage in both modes, which is very nice. But anyways, yeah, let's get this guy transformed back into his robot mode. I'll give you my final thoughts. Okay, so for my final thoughts for this Transformers 1 Studio Series Megatron, I think this is a great representation of what we saw in the movie. It's a great posable figure. I wish the head had a little bit more articulation. The robot mode is awesome. He's a little bit leggy, as I have mentioned, but yeah, I think the robot mode pulls it off very, very well. The tank mode, not so much. It's basically what we saw in the movie, but yeah, I think the robot mode far outweighs the vehicle mode in this case. So yeah, overall, a really cool figure, fun to pose, and a lot of accessories as well. So anyways, this is my look at Transformers 1 Studio Series Megatron. This has been Matt in Japan. Thanks for watching. As always, please don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe, and hit that notification bell for more great content. As always, from Transformers 1 till all are one.